Good evening, everyone. Wanted to get going right at 7 o'clock to be respectful of everyone's time. And as always, my name is Brian Heathcott. I am the Director of Enrollment and Marketing here at Memorial High School. And thank you again for joining me on this last session, this last Zoom meeting to get our students ready for August. Crazy. August 6th, August 6th, the first day of school. And we'll talk more about that soon. But this as we talked about throughout all these Zoom meetings, just what a journey this has been, thinking back to the open houses and thinking back of just how little by little this goes and everything. And we want to, like I said, we always want to make sure we give little information at a time. That way we just don't throw it all at you. So we hope these Zoom meetings help just to take a little bit out of your evening, or if you're watching this, that always know it's being recorded later, and because we know everyone has busy schedules. So as I do with everything, I'm going to start us with prayer to quiet ourselves and get us ready to learn more about how we're going to be prepared for our journey ahead in the future. So in the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen. God our Father, creator and ruler of the universe, in every age you call men and women to develop and use their gifts for the good of others. With Saint Joseph as our example and patron, help us to do the work you have asked and come to the rewards you have promised. We ask this through our Lord Jesus Christ, your Son, who lives and reigns with you in the Holy Spirit, one God forever and ever. Amen. In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amen. So tonight's topic is we like to call the next steps on the journey, because again, this has been a journey and this is just the next step. We know that this next month in May, you guys have, we have eighth grade graduation, eighth grade graduation parties and whatnot. I mean, just all the fun stuff that comes with field days and just everything with these last couple weeks and this last month. So we wanted to kind of get with you before that happens. That way you can focus on those celebration, focus on ending the year strong. And but these next steps are kind of going to be some things are going to be reiterations of a couple things we talked about, as far as just reminders of those final forms and reminders of those tuition assistance applications, and then other things are going to be new is going to be new information. So to give you an idea, I believe, here we go. Some of those topics are going to include we're going to talk about some school communications and information. We're going to talk about summer hours, school calendar, just different things like that. And then we're going to kind of basically put together a summer checklist, right? Summer checklist of, again, required forms to sign and acknowledge, how to order uniforms, when you're going to get student schedules, supply list, technology requirements, when that new student orientation is. So we'll have, kind of like I said, a checklist for you as we lead up to that first day of school in August. So we'll be able to go over some good information there. With these Zoom meetings, a couple things, as always, with all these Zoom meetings, make sure we're using that chat log. You can send messages to me or use that chat log, like I said, to be able to answer questions in a moderated format here. I'll stop what I'm doing whenever I see a question, if it's relevant to what we're talking about there, and answer it right then and there. That way we're not waiting until the end with some of those questions. So with that being said, again, thank you for being here, and we'll kind of get started here. So first thing we're going to talk about is the school communications and information. So if you're on here, obviously you have received my email. You have received probably my many emails, and I'm sorry for some of you if I fill your inbox is too much, but that's going to be my goal. Not only my goal, but a goal of Memorial is that, we want to keep you all informed. We want to keep communications coming. Sometimes we do a great job, and sometimes we also need to work on ourselves and everything. With that said, and so we want to make sure, again, we're always being upfront and knowing what's coming up and see what that looks like. So with school communications, so right now you're receiving, just like I said, you're on my enrollment list, right? Either my prospective families or my enrolled families. But starting June 1st, what I would do is I would then add you to our Reitz Memorial communications, to where I'll create a folder for you saying these are parents of class of 2028. And then you'll start getting, again, those weekly newsletters of things that you should be aware of that's going on internally of the school. Some of those things you don't need to know right now because, again, we're not quite there yet. But starting June 1st, you'll start getting what we call those weekly newsletters. We'll do a weekly newsletter, not just in the summer, but starting in the regular school year, you always have a weekly newsletter. So the emails and phone numbers and all that information we use will be the information that you provided on their enrollment application. Okay, so at any point though of the year, we get it. People get new emails, people get new phone numbers. Definitely give Memorial a call. Just talk to the front main office. They'll be able to take your new email, your new phone number, and then they'll make sure that information gets over to billing. They'll make sure that information gets over to me for communications for the newsletters. They'll make sure everybody it gets updated in Power School. So all of that stuff. So anytime, again, you have an updated phone number, email, just give the school a call. We want to make sure at all times you're getting the most up-to-date information and it's going to the correct place there. So again, starting June 1st, we'll add you all to our weekly newsletter. So you'll start getting more information there and being part of the school there. I have sent this out before, but I'm going to send this out tomorrow whenever I get whenever I have the recording for this, just so you have the hard document. But our school calendar has been released for next year. We do start August 6th, and we'll be rolling from there. So just to give you an idea, if whether you were aware or not, we do operate on a block scheduling. So we'll call them blue days and white days, our school colors, and so they'll alternate back and forth, and you can kind of see those are already predetermined there, which makes it nice, especially for snow days, and we're not having to, and we're being able to use those blue days and white days accordingly there. So each block is 85 minutes. School does start at 7:35, in case, again, just kind of throw some of those things out there, and we end at 2:15. So 7:35 to 2:15 is our school day. As a side note too, our doors open at 6:45 in the morning. We understand, especially with our friends coming over from Henderson, that sometimes, hey, we got to drop our kids off early so we can get back over across the bridge to take care of our other kids, right? So I mean, we understand mornings can be a little hectic. Just know that our doors do open at 6:45, and with supervision. There's teachers and people here that early, just to, like I said, keep an eye on students. So if you ever need to drop your kid off that early, you're more than welcome to. That's totally fine. And then if you haven't heard of Tiger Flex Time, so again, those 4 blocks, that school day, that's from 7:35 to 2:15. With that said, we have something at 2:20 called Tiger Flex Time. This is the second year we've done this, and what Tiger Flex Time is it's outside the school day, but it's kind of still a lot going on. So from 2:20 to 2:50, couple different things happen. That's usually when our teachers are still in the building during that time. So if a student needs extra help, they're able to go talk to their teachers during that time, or schedule some extra time with their teachers to go over some things. Let's say a student has to make up a quiz or a test. That'd be a good time to do that during Tiger Flex Time with their teachers. That's when some of our clubs and activities will have their weekly or monthly meetings during Tiger Flex Time. So a lot going on during that Tiger Flex Time to keep in mind. And I get it. Let's say if you don't have a club meeting that day, or you don't have a teacher to talk to at 2:15, head on home. You're good to go. Absolutely. But know that 2:20 to 2:50, that Tiger Flex Time, there's a lot of things going on to help grow the student academically and socially with the clubs and get involved there. All practices will not start until after that 2:50 time. That's a good sacred time where we want to make sure students are getting the help they need, or students are getting involved in everything. So athletics, they're very intentional about not having practices during that time. They'll start them at the earliest, 3 o'clock, 3:05, but that's only if it's on campus here. But if it's off campus, they'll have a later time to start, usually a little bit after that Tiger Flex time. So again, I will send out that calendar as a reminder, so you have a hard copy of that moving forward. So summer hours. So as you can imagine, when school ends, it's a ghost town, right? But with that said, communication wise, so people like myself, people like the business office, so financial aid and billing, people like us, we're working all year round. Not only working, but we're in house. We do not take summers off, and we are in person. So don't fret if school ends and shoot, I should have got a hold of Mr. Heathcott for this, or I still need to do this financial or billing. Like I said, we are still working. Teachers, on the other hand, yeah, they're probably gone for a little bit. With that said, too, our counseling department. So counseling department is they operate on a lighter schedule in the summer. With that said, you can still reach them and they will get back with you. And again, that's, let's say, if with schedule changes or something like that, that'd be a good reason to get a hold of your counselor over the summer. I would, if I were you, I'd probably every time, if you needed to email your counselor, include Mrs. Quinlan on there, and I put her email on there as well. She's our assistant principal. She's kind of their backup in case they don't respond to you right away, because again, they might have a scheduled vacation, but they're still working and getting everything ready to go for next year. So counseling department, like I said, those would be good ones to keep in mind over the summer if you need anything schedule wise. And then the Holy Cross Business Office, that's located on the west side of campus. Again, we're working all year round, especially in the summer. We're going to be there Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. So make sure, like I said, feel free to call, stop by if you need anything at all during the summer. There will always be someone here. So that's going to be our summer hours and availability. So starting to get into our summer checklist. Again, I think the first couple slides is going to be some reminders of information we've talked about in previous Zoom meetings, and I won't take too much time of those because I might refer you back to those Zoom meetings if you have more questions with them, and then we'll get into some new information. So the first thing is just going over those required forms to sign. Those required forms to sign and acknowledge prior to the first day of school, that first day of school being August 6th, okay? So some of those things we've talked about before, those school and athletic registration forms, and that's through Final Forms. So again, quick reminder, all of you have been through Final Forms and set up your student and yourself in Final Forms. That's where you did your application for admissions, okay? And once you've been accepted and now rolled over into the academic year, you've applied and enrolled. Now we need you to register. And register, that language is, again, that registration, that school and athletic registration is, again, having you sign off and acknowledge the school handbook, and having you sign it and having you put in emergency contact information, things like that. So if you haven't done so yet, make sure you if you haven't done so yet, make sure, there we go. Make sure to log into back into Final Forms, and you'll see if there's any red boxes. Those are ones to fill out and complete, and those are going to be your required forms to sign and acknowledge for the first day. And your students will also have some forms to sign if they log in as well. So your students and parents will have forms to sign and acknowledge and Final Forms for registration for next year. And then a tuition acknowledgement and payment. The first tuition statement will be available in fax on June 10th. On June 10th, you will not get an email from Memorial. You'll get an email from fax, okay? Fax is our billing database, to where that billing email will come from fax and then not Memorial. So just keep that in mind. So that will need to be set up and acknowledged, and that will need to be set up then by July 5th. July 5th is when that first tuition payment due, and that tuition acknowledgement statement will need to be approved. And again, that's all through fax. You'll get those emails, you'll get that communications, nothing you need to do right now at all. Just have that in mind, that on June 10th, you should be receiving that tuition statement, and by July 5th, that first tuition payment is due. And then again, all of this needs to be done and completed prior to the first day of school on August 6th. And we'll plan to send, and you will send plenty of reminders, I promise. Moving on to some other optional forms to complete. If you haven't done so already, we're still accepting those financial aid applications. That can be done online by visiting our website. If you go to reitsmemorial.org/financial-aid, you can feel free to fill out those financial aid applications. And as you can see, we put a date of May 3rd as the financial aid application priority deadline. Now, that's, if you get it in by May 3rd, that's going to make sure and guarantee that we apply that financial aid to that first billing, that first statement you're going to receive in June, okay? If you get it in after May 3rd, not a big deal. It just might not be as fast to get it in on that first statement, okay? So that's why we say priority deadline. And we want to make sure we're staying on top of things and getting those turned in. So again, we're still accepting financial aid applications. Feel free to fill those out and get those turned in, especially by May 3rd, to help with billing and to help you have the accurate information. If you're interested in, we talked about in that previous Zoom meetings about free and reduced meals and textbooks, the applications and how to go about that. Again, those are through the state, not necessarily through Memorial as far as the application goes. The state provides that to the schools on July 1st. So again, on July 1st, nothing you need to do right now, but on July 1st, expect an email from Memorial High School saying, hey, by the way, here's that free and reduced meals and textbooks application. It's a quick two-page application. You'll fill that out, turn that back into Memorial, and we'll get that processed and get that applied. Okay. So again, just nothing you need to do now. Just expect and know that that's come July 1st, and then we'll get that filled out. Okay. All right. Moving right along here. So uniforms. And the next slide, I will show you a visual of what those uniforms are. But uniforms is going to consist of, we have uniform polos. We're going to be selling quarter zip fleece pullovers that are optional, sweaters that are optional. We do sell the dress shirts but those are non-monogrammed, meaning we sell them great, but also you're more than welcome to get those elsewhere. But the uniform polos, the quarter zip fleece pullovers, the sweaters, the PE uniforms, those are all Memorial monogrammed, and you're only able to get them through Memorial High School. Okay. There is going to be a pre-order uniform sale. I'm going to suggest to keep an eye out for that, and we will send information on that by the first week of May. But that will guarantee that you get everything you'd like to order. As if you want to order a polo for every day of the week, by golly, you're more than welcome to do that. And I'd go through that pre-order uniform sale. That way the store has everything it needs, and they're going to get that order ready. So an online store to pre-order uniforms, that'll be set to go live during the first week in May. You'll get an email about that, and you'll have the link to order that. It'll probably give you about 2 weeks to order, showing that you'll have a window of about 2 weeks to order usually through that website. But like I said, an email will be sent out to families that include that web store link and more information. Okay. In the meantime, you're more than welcome. If you want to view and purchase online before that or after that, if you go to reitsmemorial.org, go to current families and go to uniform store, you'll see our uniform store there. Now, with that said, it's the end of the year. So supplies, as far as the sizes might be limited or out of stock and everything. So again, don't worry. That's what that pre-order uniform sale is. And then after that pre-order uniform sale happens, Memorial will be able to have plenty on stock in hand as well. But we want to, like I said, have you guys use that pre-order uniform sale. But you're more than welcome, like I said, to see what stock we have and get some things ordered in the meantime. I had a question. I was about to actually get to it. It's a perfect question. It relates perfectly to this. Is there a place that we can see samples of uniforms so we can see how sizing works? Absolutely. So starting now, you're more than welcome to come by now, anytime, and again, all summer. Holy Cross Hall, the business office, again, located on the west side of campus there, the business office that's going to be open all summer. Whether you do it now or start in the summer, anytime, you're more than welcome to stop by the Holy Cross Hall business office to try on sample sizes. So those will always be available. You'll be able to see the sample sizes, try some of those on. If we have some in stock, then after you do that, more than welcome to purchase while you're in-house, or like I said, just do the pre-order uniform sale. But yes, that will always have sample sizes ready to go if anytime you guys want to stop by all summer or even prior to that during the school year to check some of that out. So that will be coming up. Looking at then what it kind of looks like here. So gives you an idea. Again, we have two different uniforms. One is basically the polo version, and the other is the dress shirt version. So each of these come with guidelines as far as so basically we'll call it almost the first 9 weeks of school. So between August 6th and October 4th, students are able to wear these polos. They'll have it'll be monogrammed Reitz Memorial High School on the top chest there. All year round, as you can kind of see across there, you'll see that at all times, it's a leather shoe of some sort. It can be a black or brown leather shoe of some sort. It can be something relaxing as a Sperry. Doesn't have to be a fancy dress shoe by any means, but something relaxing, a black or brown leather shoe, along with khakis and a belt all year round. So again, the first 9 weeks, August 6th through October 4th, you're able to do the polo version. And then again, on top of that polos, you're able to have those sweaters, those quarter zip fleeces, those anything like that. So you're able to add that on top of that as an option available there. Now, once October 7th hits, so October 7th through March 7th, what happens is we go to our dress shirts. So those can come in blue or white, and they can be long sleeve or short sleeve. Doesn't matter either way for any gender there. And then, as you can see, the only addition is that the boys will go to ties then. So that would be through October 7th through March 7th. Again, those dress shirts, they're non-monogram. So we do sell them. You're more than welcome to get it through us. And you're obviously more than welcome to get them at a local store, anything like that, that might be selling something comparable there. Okay. So yeah, that's kind of what that looks like. And again, after March 7th, March 10th through May 16th, the last 9 weeks of school, we'll go back to the polos. Kids are more than welcome to utilize to wear the button down dress shirts all year round. They don't have to go back to the polos. You're more than welcome to do that, but also you're more than welcome to kind of set it up like this: August 6th through October 4th, the polos we allow. October 7th through March 7th, the dress shirts, and then again on March 10th through May 16th, back to the polos the last 9 weeks. For more information about concerning the uniform dress code per se, not to get into the nitty-gritty details, but again, just to try to give you a snapshot here, but the actual dress code, definitely refer to that student parent handbook. That can be found on our website, or if you go to final forms, you'll see a section there for student parent handbook to review on the more details as far as what pants and different things are available. Someone had a good question: are the options of the polos only navy, or can they wear white? So I think this next year we kind of alternate different versions. For example, this next year we're only going to sell the navy ones. With that said, we understand, with our current students, with our past students, there's some white ones still floating around that are still in great shape. There's some royal blue ones floating around. Those are absolutely still able. Students are still able to wear those and everything until those sooner or later fade out. So I think this next year they're going to only stick with the navy ones to sell. With that said, yes, the white ones are still able to use the royal blue ones, and obviously the navy ones of the older versions of those polos. All right, moving on here. So Power School. Most of you, I believe, are familiar with Power School, but just in case, Power School is our student information system for students, for parents, faculty, in order to keep up with grades. That's where our grade book is, to have attendance, to put notes, and have communications through it. So Power School is kind of our master communications and student information system as far as that goes. So new parents, what will happen is new parents will receive communications from the main office during the week of July 8th. That's going to be via an email, okay? That email will contain a Power School login and password, information to set up for this next school year, along with step-by-step instructions on how to utilize Power School and how to set that up. If a parent has an existing Power School account, and again, that existing Power School account is connected to the email address that we're going to send it to that was from your application for admissions, right? So if a parent has an existing Power School account, Power School will recognize that, and then you'll receive an email notification that communicate that a new school, Reitz Memorial, has been added to your existing account. So you will not need to create a new login and password. If you already have a Power School account and your student is connected to that, again, it'll just roll over and it'll just say that a new school has been added, and you'll be able to access the Reitz Memorial account via Power School there. So that will be coming again the first during the week of July 8th. Looking at student schedules. So once you have that Power School access, that's going to give you access to the student schedules. For our returning students, this is where we will release their schedules. But again, with our new students, again, once you have that Power School set up, that same time, that same week of the week of July 8th, that's where student schedules will be released, and that will be released via Power School. You'll be able to log in and see their schedules in the Power School account. Now, student schedules, they're only released once all those required enrollment registration forms, they've been acknowledged, and that tuition agreement has been finalized. So Again, we come up on it. We want to make sure all that's done. Obviously, by first day of school, until those are done, even the schedule won't even be released. So again, that's just kind of keeps us moving to get those things done and have those available. So again, student schedules those won't be released until July 8th, the week of July 8th, meaning that all those required enrollment and registration forms are completed and that tuition agreement has been finalized. And again, schedules will be available via PowerSchool there online once you log in. Textbooks. So textbooks, unless you know or don't know, but Reitz Memorial, they provide all students with their textbooks and digital codes on the first day of school. We take care of gathering and receiving all that information and distributing that. A textbook rental fee of $300 is added to the tuition statement to cover all those physical and digital textbooks. So just know that that is a separate fee outside tuition. You'll see that added as a bullet point there. Now, a good point at the bottom here. If you qualify for textbook assistance, we talked about that free and reduced lunch application. So if you get that turned in when it's available on July 1st, get that turned in, and that is included there. If you qualify for that textbook assistance, the business office will be notified, and the textbook rental fee that was included on your tuition statement that will be credited. So that will go away there. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind as you move forward. But like I said, Memorial will provide all that, all the digital codes, all the physical textbooks, as far as that goes. And just like I said, make sure that you understand that fee is added to the billing there. Moving on, supply list. All right. So Memorial in the last, for a long time now, we have the teachers individually beforehand, they haven't, published a formal supply list. So, because what happens is what they'll do is they'll show up the first day and go to each class the first time, and the teachers will have a syllabus, right? In that syllabus, that's when they'll provide them, hey, by the way, in math, I do want you to say have a three-ring binder with loose leaf paper and about three dividers or whatever that is, right? So each teacher that first week in their syllabus will provide to them, hey, here is what we'd like you to have. Now, we understand that's a quick turnaround. We don't expect them to have it the very next class. They might say, hey, in the next week, we would like you to have this available and prepared for when you come to class. If all you need is a folder and a notebook, right, for that class, they will let you know that first day. So leading up to that first day, what we always tell students is, unless otherwise specified before that, the first few days of school, just simply bring, some paper, some notebooks, binders with some loose leaf paper, obviously some pens, pencils, if you have some highlighters, and any of those textbooks, especially when we start providing those. So again, show up those first couple of days again with just some general school supplies, right? Something to write with and something to write on. Some folders to keep you organized those first couple of days until you get actual direction from your teacher as far as, hey, here's what I'd like for you to have. A great suggestion is always going to be, we have those blue days and white days, right? So we always say, okay, maybe having a certain notebook specifically on this side for my blue days and certain over here for my white days. Just keep them really organized, whether they're coming home with you or in a different backpack or anything like that. So we always want to make sure, like I said, we're staying organized with that stuff. But we have definitely a lot of students with good ideas that have had different ideas of how to handle that before. So again, supply list. Make sure those first couple of days you show up with some very normal things, something to write on, something to write with, and then the teachers will let you know after that what exactly you'll need to bring and give you some time to get those. I believe I sent this out before, but again, just a reminder. So a technology, we do require that every student has some sort of device. If your family needs extra assistance on providing a device, again, just get with the financial aid office and they can see what's available and if you would qualify maybe for a Memorial school-owned device to rent, perhaps. But with that said, we really would just rather have, like I said, every student to have some sort of device. Our IT our IT department, our IT administrator is Eric Slow. I put his contact up in the top right corner if you have any questions for him on this. But he's basically put together some technology requirements for student devices. And I can tell you, just looking through this, I mean, it is very, very minimal requirements as far as that goes for these computers. Honestly, as long as it can connect to the internet, that's the main thing, and it has good speed to do that because a lot of these online textbooks, I mean, that's exactly what they are. They're web based, right? There's not a lot of programs that say to necessarily download to these. So as long as it can connect to the internet, have good speed to do it, that's what we're looking for. But he did, like I said, put some good technology requirements for student devices, some very minimal requirements as you're looking ahead at these. Um, One thing I always wanted to mention too, that Memorial with tuition, included in your tuition, is a Microsoft 365 license. So your student will get some logins and be able to download their Microsoft 365 onto their devices. And again, that is included with tuition. They'd be able to keep that all 4 years. So again, just some good minimal requirements. If you have more questions, obviously you can ask me. But Eric Slow, he's our IT administrator. He can help you out with any, even if it's just sending him a laptop, a link to a laptop and saying, "Hey, what's your recommendation? Would this be a good one?" He'd be more than happy to look at anything like that for you. So, and those would need to be ready by the first day of school. Someone had a good question. So, are students allowed to carry their backpacks to each class with their books and computer? So, a while back, Memorial did go away with going from class to class with their backpacks. Now, obviously, you're able to enter in the school and leave school with your backpacks as far as bringing your stuff in and going to your locker. And once you're at your locker, your backpack will go into your locker, and then you'll go class to class with whatever you need at that time, whether it's your laptop and a few books or whatever that is. We do have some students with some accommodations if they got injured or anything like that, or any accommodations that might allow them to have a backpack pass to carry their stuff around with them. That's something the dean of students and the student services office would take care of, and you would take up with them there. But yeah, students will go class to class with just grabbing what they need for that time. I understand too, hey, with especially these computers, right? Like, oh my goodness, my son or high school daughter, high school son or daughter is going to be walking around with this, this expensive laptop, that we purchased for them. I'll tell you right now, I got computer sleeves. Anybody that needs a computer sleeve, you stop by my office, I'll give them to you for free, okay? Of what I have left. Think I got about 50 here. So if they need a computer sleeve, definitely get them one. If not, like I said, I'm gonna stop by my office on the first day. I'll take care of them there. So we've never really had incidents with people, someone dropping their laptop or anything like that. As far as going class to class, I know it might happen, but students are really pretty careful about that, especially if they know that mom and dad told them to take care of it, right? So yeah, like I said, but that's a good question. Yeah, they do not carry their backpacks to each class, just the books and computer if they need their computer during that class during that time. The lockers. So on that online spirit store, along with our uniform sale, you'll see that we do sell school locks with that. So every student is assigned a school locker to each student. So everyone has their own individual locker throughout the school, and we'll keep that locker actually all 4 years of high school. Students are required to purchase a lock from the spirit store and must always use it on their assigned locker in a locked position when the locker is not in use. So again, just to reiterate, that cannot be a lock that you purchase at another store or anything like that. That has to be through Memorial High School for security purposes for Memorial to be able to access that for emergency purposes. So that lock needs to be through Memorial High School. They all look the same. It's a blue colored lock and everything, and you can buy that through our uniform store, through Holy Cross Hall over the summer, or anything like that whenever you go through our uniform sale. I know that sounds weird. It's in our uniform sale, but that's where it's going to be at any time if you go to our sale there. But yes, yeah, students will need a lock for their locker to purchase separately. I know this is what we're getting towards the end here. I mean, again, a lot of this was reiterating some things. A lot of it was new things, but one of the last things I know I want to talk about is our new student orientation. So, again, the school starts August 6th. That's a Tuesday, but on Friday, August 2nd, that's when we're going to do a new student orientation. That's when we're going to bring in all the new students, all the new freshmen, and even some of our upperclassmen transfer students. We're going to familiarize the students before the first day. We're going to break them up into smaller groups, so we're not in a big freshman group, but we'll start off in a big freshman group, but then we'll break down into smaller groups so we can actually pay attention and go over some really important details. We'll explore some good high school transition opportunities and meet with some of our counselors to talk about what the first week and what the first couple of days is going to look like and how to, hey, how we're going to mentally prepare for that. We're going to do a schedule walkthrough. That's probably the best thing we're going to do is we're going to print out their schedule before that first day, and we're going to do a bell walkthrough and everything. And it's a walk. We're not going to run and have to rush to our classes, but it's going to be a walkthrough in a sense of we're going to have ambassadors with them and say, okay, here's where you go first. Here's where you go second. Here's how you get there. Right. So we're going to walk all that out so we have a good sense of where we're going those first couple of days. After that day, the students feel great. After the first 2 days of being in school, they're going to feel even better. They pick up on it real quick, but that way, that first day, we don't just throw them in there and say, hey, go figure it out. We want to make sure, like I said, we have that schedule walkthrough. That's going to be really helpful. During that schedule walkthrough, they'll be able to meet their teachers and classmates of who's going to be in their class, get a good idea of, again, how to get there, where they're located. I will say more details as far as the time, apparel, and logistics. We'll be following up with that probably about a month out from that. I will give you an idea that it's usually not a all day affair. It's usually a few hours in the morning. As far as I think, I'll just give you an idea. Last year, I believe it was something like 8 to 12. And again, that was last year. Don't quote me on this year, but I bet it's going to be close to something like that. But we will send out again some time logistics about a month out from that. But just guarantee though, that Friday, August 2nd, will be our new student orientation here at Memorial. And another thing to reiterate too, that is for students only. That is for the students only. Parents, if you want to see the school, give me a call at any time. I'd be happy to give you a tour. Okay, but yeah, that day though, that's for new student or only for the new student orientation. And then again, the first day of school starts August 6th there. And then I had another question. Holy Cross all hours. So during the school year, while we're still in session, they're there from 8 o'clock to almost about 4 o'clock usually during the school year. And then the summer hours, I think it's just 1 hour less. Summer hours over at Holy Cross Hall is 8 to 3 and that's Monday through Friday during the school year and during the summer. So 8 to 4 now during the school year, 8 to 3 during the summer. Great question. So again, I know I kind of went through that, and I know hopefully none of that was too confusing. I think I always know that, like I said, these are recorded. You can always go back to this. The main thing is always know that I'm always around too. So whether it's now or during the summer, always give me a call with anything. I'm going to leave this chat log open for about another minute unless I get something, but I'll just leave you with some closing comments in case anybody would like to, like I said, add anything else. But that really is it. Like I said, this next month for eighth graders and your families, we hope you enjoy this time in celebration, and we want you to really focus on ending the school year strong and focusing on that. That's why we had this about a month out of like, hey, summer's a little bit away, but here's some of the things you're going to do this summer. But we want you to enjoy the rest of your school year. But like I said, definitely give us a call, give us an email, whatever we can do to help. But stay up on some of those summer checklist items of what needs to be done. But that really is it. I would never hopefully steer you guys in the wrong direction as far as what needs to get done. I always say if you don't hear from us, that's probably a good thing. That's probably a good thing. Meaning, yep, you're on top of your stuff. But if you ever want to double check with me, you're more than welcome to. Okay. But with that said, like I said, I don't see any questions, and these have been great. These have been great again, just to be able to everyone's busy schedules to be able to review this later or join us for not too long this evening, just to kind of look at some of this stuff. But I appreciate y'all joining us tonight. I don't see any questions, so I'm going to bid y'all a great rest of the year, and we can't wait to see you next year. Holler, give us a call, email us if you have any questions at all. Have a great school year. We'll see you. Bye-bye.